I also bring in like just without the tremolo, you know, sustain on the chorus. It'll go. Yeah. Just little simple stuff like that. But I prefer it. But if you're playing a zombie song,
yeah,
the live record has a cover of an obscure zombie song called "I Want You Back Again."
yeah.
And I think I turn the tremolo down or off. Nowadays, I'd certainly turn it off for something like that because it sounds more like a Hohner pianet that way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of more like it can be more rock and roll that way. It can be darker that way. It can be less pretty that way.
With the tremolo off.
With the tremolo off.
Yeah.
It's plainer and less pretty.
Yeah.
My Hammond has an off position for the Leslie.
Yeah.
And I use that a lot.
Like Jimmy Smith, when he would, yeah, the early Jimmy Smith records. Yeah.
You can also go, because of I have a tremolo box as well, and if you put the tremolo on really gently and stop it, it almost sounds like a harmonium or a pump organ.
Yeah.
So you can do all these nice, really plain sounds.
Yeah.
And then when you take the tremolo off and kick in the slow Leslie, it really has an effect, and it makes an impact and it builds it.
Yeah.
And nobody probably even notices that that's what happened, but
yeah.
it does that.
So your basic stops, like you were showing before in Refugee, are you starting with the first three pulled out, almost in?
I'm starting usually with the first three pulled out and these close to there. I might bump this down depending on the sound of the room, but
so you're starting out in the kind of almost a full church.
I guess Shelley Yakis was the engineer on that record.
Yeah.
And we sat, and that's the first record where I really totally explored playing the organ.
Yeah.
I've been playing it a bunch on tour, but Shelley and I sat, Shelley and Jimmy and I sat, and I would pull out and play with the drawbars till he said,
yeah,
that's the sound that's going to work against the guitars. And we found that this worked on the verses, and I liked it with this off during the verses. Now I think we found this worked on the choruses, and I would make a slight subtle change, like push these back a little bit.
And you're leaving the chorus on C1.
It's on C1.
Yeah.
It's off for the verses. Let me see. It's on for the verses.
Yeah.
Off for the B section. On for the choruses.
Yeah.
Small drawbars. No vibrato. Small drawbars and vibrato for the verses. No vibrato, and pull the bars out for the B section.
Yeah.
And put the vibrato back out and full drawbars, or close to full drawbars, for the chorus.
And the solo section on something like Refugee, I mean, that's pretty full.
Yeah,
in terms
it's pretty full. I think that we overdubbed the solo.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know whether we wanted just a guitar solo or a guitar and organ trade-off, which it wound up being.
Yeah.
So I just played the rhythm that I would have played on the chorus underneath it, and put a little more percussion on, so that you could hear it speak a little better. Or whatever it does, and I'm not really happy with that solo. So I like the first half of it.
Yeah.
But I think the dismount's lousy.
Yeah. There's also something that I don't think that, but there's also something that you do sort of on the end of is it the end of the waiting where you have a little figure where you're going D and A. You're just kind of holding fifths at the top. I would have to look at my. Let me.